Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Do you hear me? Because I don't have electricity, right? My electricity will be activated after 8:40. Until 8:40, I have to use my microphone. Sorry, my mobile phone. So can somebody, because we were discussing what you call disciplinary procedure. Can somebody tell me, right, where we have stopped? Hello.
Good evening, sir. Today we have to start from slide number 85.
Slide number 85. Okay, right. Hmm. 85. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Are you referring to what? What is the topic? You have made a mistake. Also, 1 minute, 1 minute. Right, just 1 second. Okay, slide number, okay, 80. What is that? 80?
85, no, sir?
Okay, let me go through that one. Let me check it. $85.
Sir, last note was the disciplinary procedure steps. Already discussed 4 steps, sir.
Okay, formal charge sheet we discussed, no?
Yes,
Oh,
sir, already discussed.
and what about holding a formal disciplinary inquiry?
Not yet,
Yeah.
sir.
Not yet. Okay, right. The next step is holding a formal disciplinary inquiry, right? Until my electricity, okay, next step is, take your note, holding a formal inquiry, formal disciplinary inquiry. Holding a formal disciplinary inquiry. The numbers are somewhat wrong. This is not number 2. Number should be number 1. Number 1, you have to take notes. Number 1, selecting an impartial inquiring officer. Right? If you are going for a formal disciplinary inquiry, what is needed to be done is to select an impartial inquiring officer. Impartial, bias nathi. Number 1, selecting an impartial inquiring officer. අපි කොයි පැත්තටවත් බයස් වෙන්නේ නැති ඉන්ක්වයරිං ඔෆිසර් කෙනෙක් තෝරගන්න ඕනේ. Number 1. Number 2, is number 2, selecting an superior officer. Selecting an superior officer. than the suspected employee. Than the suspected employee. කියන්නේ යම් කිසි employee කෙනෙක් අපි හිතමුකෝ manager කෙනෙක් කියලා. එයාට විරුද්ධව inquiry එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒ managerට වඩා senior officer කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. කවුද? Inquiring officer. Than the suspected employee to conduct the plaint. PLAINT plaint. ඒකෙන් කියවෙන්නේ යම් කිසි පුද්ගලයකට එරෙහිව ඉන්ක්වයරි එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඩිසිප්ලිනරි විනය පරීක්ෂණයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒ වැරද්ද කරපු පුද්ගලයාට වඩා සීනියර් ඔෆිසර් කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඕනේ ඒ ඉන්ක්වයරි එක කරන පුද්ගලයා. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Right. Number 3. Number 3. When a witness, Saksi, when a witness is testified, comma, when a witness is testified, comma, other witnesses must not be present. Must not be presented. Other witnesses must not be presented before the inquiry. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකට අදාළ සාක්ෂි testify වෙනවා නම් වෙනත් සාක්ෂි වලට යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Full stop. But all the witnesses must be testified. But all the witnesses must be testified before the suspected employee. ඒ කියන්නේ සෑම සාක්ෂියක්ම අර අපි suspected සැකසහිත සේවකයා ඉදිරියේ ඕනේ testify කරන්න. එයාට හංගලා කරන්න බෑ. ඒ මොනොත් වැරදි. එයා ඉදිරියේ ඕනේ. before the කියන්නේ ඒකේ තේරුම ඒක. දැන් තමයි කට්ටිය join වෙන්නේ. කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. So, because we have already covered everything. Today is our 35th or 34th session. Is it 34th or 35th session?
Today is the 30th.
Sorry? No. Not 30th.
Yes, sir. 30th session.
Check. No. I think you have not attended, right? 33rd session, yes. Today is 34th session. 33rd one was ILO conventions. I think you have missed. 33 was ILO conventions on 10th of this month. After that, we started on 12th. It's 34 disciplinary matters. Today is 35th. I think you have missed something. But anyway, right, we have another session on and 26th niche. I think you have missed something. Okay, right. Number 4. Number 4. Holding a formal disciplinary inquiry. These are the steps. Number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we should allow the suspected employee to cross-examine the witness called by the company. Company එකෙන් සාක්ෂිකාරයෝ ගෙන්නනවානේ. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කියන ප්‍රකාශවලට cross-examine. එන හරස් ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න ඕනේ. Number 4. Allowing the suspected employee, allowing the suspected employee අද 2035 ඔගොල්ලෝ 30 නෙමෙයි ඔගොල්ලෝ වරද්දලා තියෙන්නේ. තව දෙකක් තියෙනවා 37ක් දාලා තියෙනවා.
සර් ටෙලිග්‍රෑම් ගෲප් එකේ මෙන්ෂන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ 30.
මොකක්?
ඔව් සර් අපිට එහෙමයි පෙන්නන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ 30 සෙෂන් එක අද යන්නේ සර්.
මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් 11 12 නේ.
11 බැච් එක ඔව් සර්.
ඔය 11 12 දෙකම එකට යන්නේ. රයිට් ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් වල මගේ ලෙක්චර්ස් වල ඔක්කොම එකට එකතු කරලා කරන්නේ අනිත් ඒවායි නෙමෙයි. That is wrong. Right, that is wrong. Okay, let's see. Right. Anyway, we have only 2 lectures. Except today, we have 2 lectures. We have covered everything. Right. There is now new legislation, but it is not implemented right now. Therefore, I'm not going to discuss it. Right. Number 4, allowing the suspected employee to cross-examine the witness called by the company. ඔගොල්ලෝ බලන්න ඕනේ එහෙන් දෙන එක නෙමෙයි ඔයාලගේ නෝට් එක ඔයාලා මුලින් ඉඳලා පිළිවෙලට ලියාගත්ත නම් දිනවකවානුත් එක්ක. Okay. Number 5.
Excuse me, sir. So can you please repeat the 4th one?
Fourth one, allowing the suspected employee to cross-examine the witnesses called by the company.
Thank you, sir.
Number 5, calling all the important witnesses and making all important documents. වැදගත් documents සියල්ල mark කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම calling all the important witnesses. සියලුම සාක්ෂි කැදවන්න ඕනේ. Next. Number 6. Recording the proceedings. Proceedings record කරන්න ඕනේ. date එක, time එක, place එක ඔක්කොමත් එක්ක. and recording the proceedings and getting the signature of the suspected. Getting the signature of the suspected. Suspected. Employee for the proceedings. Number 7. Number 7. Reading out the charge sheet. Charge sheet එක කියවන්න ඕන. Reading out the charge sheet. Reading out the charge sheet to the suspected employee. අයාට charge sheet එක මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ? කියවන්න ඕනේ. Number 9. Oh, number 8. Is it number 8? No, sorry. 8 the 9 the
Number
8, sir,
8,
8.
sir.
8. Recording the answer of the suspected employee, right? සැකකටයුතු සේවකයාගේ උත්තර රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න ඕනේ. Recording the answer of the suspected employee. Number 9. Number 9. Testifying the witness. Witness testify කරන්න ඕනේ. Testifying the witness. Right. Number 10 is this is very important, ladies and gentlemen, right? When you are holding a formal inquiry, this is very important. Statements, ප්‍රකාශයන්, stock evidences, සාක්ෂි, of the witnesses, සාක්ෂිකරුවන්ගේ ප්‍රකාශ, should be recorded. ඒවා record කරන්න ඕනේ. Should be recorded in his stock, her, ඔහුගේ stock, her, ඇයගේ own words, ඔවුන්ගේම වචන වලින්. ඔවුන්ගේම වචන වලින් රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න ඕනේ. නැත්නම් අපේ වචන වලින් නෙමෙයි. Right. Number 11. Number 11. The inquiring officer can pose. The inquiring officer can pose an inquiring officer can pose questions on the witness on the witness to clarify the facts. Again, කරුණු අනාවරණය කර ගැනීම සඳහා inquiring officer පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න කාගෙන්ද සාක්ෂිකරුවන්ගේ. Number 12. Number 12. If the witnesses decline, stroke refuse, if the witnesses සාක්ෂිකරු decline බැහැර කරනවා නම් refuse ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරනවා නම් to answer the questions or keep silence ඒගොල්ලෝ නිහඬව ඉන්නවා නම් come on, it should be recorded. ඒවා record කරන්න ඕනේ මේ විදිහටම. Next step, final report of the inquiring officer. Final report of the inquiring officer. Final report of the inquiring officer. එයා ඉන්ක්වයරි එක තිබ්බා ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කරන්න ඕන ෆයිනල් රිපෝට් එක ලියන්න ඕන. ළමයි ඕගොල්ලෝගේ ඕකේ 30 කියලා තිබ්බට මේක මගේ 35. හරි? මම ඒක ක්ලැරිෆයි කරගන්නම් ආයතනයත් එක්ක. කොහොම නමුත් ඔයාලට තව තියෙන ලෙක්චර්ස් දෙකයි මැක්සිමම්. ඒ දෙකත් සෝරි දෙකයි නෙමෙයි. තුනක් තියෙනවා. 25 වෙනිදා තියෙනවා. 26 වෙනිදා තියෙනවා. 26 ඇයි දන්නේ මේගොල්ලෝ මෙහෙම දැම්මේ? Be using my time to discuss 2 papers with you last 2 days. Last 2 days in the sense 26th and 27th, sorry, only 2 days. You have only 2 days. 25th and 26th. 25th and 26th, I will be using the time is devoted to discuss the question papers. I have prepared 2 question papers and we will be discussing those 2 questions on those days. Okay? Do you understand? මේකෙන් දැන් ඉන්නවනේ 25ක් නැත්නම් 30ක් 40ක් විතර දැන් අද ඉන්නේ 13යි. මේක තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ. සමහරුන්ට okay, anyway. This is not my problem, no. This is the last group that I am teaching. I have fed up now. Okay, final report of the inquiring officer. What is that? What is the number? 6th or 5th step?
5th step, sir.
Sorry?
5th one.
Okay, 5th one. Final report of the inquiring officer. Right. First bullet. Take your note, put in the bullet form, under the bullet form. First bullet. The final report is prepared. Final report should be prepared. The final report should be prepared by the inquiring officer. Inquiring officer තමයි final report එක prepare කරන්න ඕනේ. First bullet. And then the second bullet. Second bullet. The inquiring officer must අනිවාර්යයි must clearly mention අනිවාර්යෙන් එයා සඳහන් කරන්න ඕන clearly mention whether the suspected employee whether the suspected employee ඒ කියන්නේ අපි සැක කරන හාම්පුතා sorry සේවකයා whether the suspected employee is guilty for each charge or not. එයාට අපි charge sheet එකක් දෙනවනේ. ඒ charge sheet එකේ එක එක කරුණු වලට එයා වැරදිකාරයෙක්ද එහෙම නැත්නම් නිවැරදිකාරයෙක්ද කියන එක එයා guiltyද නැද්ද කියන එක inquiring officer එක එක කාරණේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් වෙන වෙනම සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ. That is what we mean. The inquiring officer must clearly mention whether the suspected employee is guilty for each charge or not. Okay. Right. Bullet number 3. Bullet number 3. It is important to be mentioned. වැදගත් වෙනවා මෙන්න මෙහෙම සඳහන් කරන්න. It is important to be mentioned. The reasons for that conclusion. එයාගේ නිගමනයක් දෙනවා නම් නිගමනයට හේතු දක්වන්නත් ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි අපි natural justice කියලා කියන්නේ. ස්වභාවෝක්ති නීතිය මූලධර්ම ආරක්ෂා කරන්න නම් එයා reason එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. එයා ඒ කියන්නේ ගේ conclusion එක නිගමනයට reason එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. It is important to be mentioned the reason for that conclusion. Right. Next bullet. Next bullet. It is not necessary to prescribe. විස්තර කරන්න අවශ්‍යම නැහැ. It is not necessary to prescribe the punishment. දඬුවම් මොනවද කියලා විස්තර කිරීම අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. ඒක හාම්පුතාට අයිති කාරණයක්. දඬුවම් දෙන එක. මොන දඬුවමක්ද දෙන්නේ කියන එක. Next bullet. Next bullet. Punishments are decided by the employer, sorry, by the management. Punishments are decided by the management. ඒක තීරණය කරන්නේ දඬුවම් දෙන නොයන එක දෙන එක ඒවයි මට්ටම තීරණය කරන්නේ කළමනාකාරීත්වය. ඒක ඉන්ක්වයරිං ඔෆිසර්ගේ වැඩක් නෙමෙයි. ඉන්ක්වයරිං ඔෆිසර් ඔක්කොම සියල්ල විභාග කළා මෙයා එක එක charge sheet එකක් තියෙනවනේ එක එක චෝදනාවක් තියෙනවනේ. ඒ චෝදනාවට එයා වැරදිකාරයෙක්ද නැද්ද කියන එක කියන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ දඬුවම් දෙන එක කාගේ වැඩක්ද?
management.
Management. Right? It is management. Okay. I'm not going to. Okay. So next my topic is subtopic types of punishments. Types of punishments. දඬුවම් මොනවද කියන එක. මේක නඩු තීන්දුව වලින් එක එක දේවල් තියෙනවා. නමුත් මේ වගේ කාරණයකදී හාමුදුරුවන්ට පුළුවන් මොන දඬුවමක්ද නියම කරන්න කියන එක තීරණය කරන්න. ඒ නිසා මම ඩිරෙක්ට්ලි යනවා මොනවටද types of punishment කියන එක. මේ එක එකට නඩු තීන්දුව තියෙනවා. මම ඒව ගැන කතා කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. types of punishment. දඬුවම් වර්ග මොනවද? මේක 1 2 3 ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Number 1 2 3 is not, but you know the bullet form or star mark or whatever it is. First is warning. අවවාද කරන්න පුළුවන්. Warning. Next. Fines. දඩ මුදලක් අය කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Fines within bracket up to 5%. Up to 5% within bracket of the salary for selected misconduct තෝරාගත්තු විසමාචාර සඳහා 5% දක්වා මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? දඩ මුදලක් අය කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Next, bullet or star mark. Suspension of an increment. Suspension of an increment. වැටුප් වර්ධකයේ නොදී ඉන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක සස්පෙන්ඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන්. තහනම් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Next. Not pay in the bonus. Bonus නොගෙව ඉන්නත් පුළුවන්. Not pay in the paying. paying the bonus. Bonus නොගෙව ඉන්නත් පුළුවන් දඬුවමක් හැටියට. Next. Demotion or reduction in ranks. එයාගේ තනතුරෙන් පල්ලෙහා දාන්න පුළුවන්. Demotion or reduction in ranks. Right? Put a bracket then. වරහණක් දාලා ලියන්න. But decrease in the salary is within bracket. Okay, decreasing the salary is within bracket, but decreasing the salary is a violation of the statutory provisions. Statutory provisions of the Sopanopees Act and the Wages Board's Ordinance. Close the bracket. Demotion කරන්න පුළුවන්, reduction කරන්න, rank එකකින් පල්ලෙහා දාන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි පඩිය අඩු කරන්න බෑ. ඒක violation එක. rank එක පල්ලෙහා දාන්න පුළුවන්, ගෙවපු පඩියම ගෙවන්න ඕන. Next bullet form. Disqualifying for the promotions. Disqualifying for the promotions. For a certain period. නිශ්චිත කාලයක් සඳහා promotion වලට qualify නැහැ කියලා තීරණය කරන්න පුළුවන්. Disqualifying for the promotions for a certain period. The next. Transfer. මාරු කරන්න පුළුවන්. Next one. Next. Forfeiting the gratuity. Gratuity එක රඳව ගන්න පුළුවන්. මොනවා වුණාමද? Within bracket. Dismissal. ඒ කියන්නේ සේවය අවසන් කිරීම. Within bracket. Dismissal should be based on the misconduct. Forfeiting the gratuity within bracket, dismissal should be based on the misconduct. ඒ කියන්නේ විනය කාරණයක් මත සේවය අවසන් කෙරුවොත් gratuity එක forfeit කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඒ විනයට ඒ damage එකට අදාළ මුදල. Next, dismissal or termination. Right. Next, punishment. Punishments. What is that? Sorry, first of all, sorry. We discussed types of punishments, no? We discussed types of punishment. So we don't need to write anything else. These are the types of punishment, right? We have plethora of, what do you call, court cases, right? All these punishments have been justified by the superior court in Sri Lanka. Okay, now the conclusion. final part, conclusion. These are important for you to take your note. Just wait for 1 second. Just 1 minute, one or 2, 3 minutes. Just wait for a while. Okay, right. The final step. Conclusion. First bullet. Misconduct is not. These are the things that you need to understand. Misconduct, විසමාචාර ක්‍රියාවක් is not tolerated. Tolerate කරන්නේ නැහැ. එක සමාව දෙන්න පුළුවන් කාරණයක් එහෙම එකක් නෙමෙයි. Misconduct is not tolerated in the field of industrial law. In the field of industrial law. Second bullet. The punishment for misconduct. The punishment for misconduct. The punishment for misconduct must be proportionated. Must be proportionated. The punishment for misconduct must be proportionated. Must be proportionated to the misconduct committed. ඒ කරපු වැරද්දේ විසමාචාරයේ ස්වභාවයට අනුව අපි මොනවාද punishment එක දෙන්න ඕනේ. Right. Number 3, next point. The employee should be given opportunity to correct himself, him or herself. එයාට වැරදක් වුණා නම් හදාගන්න අවස්ථාව දෙන්න ඕනේ. Next. Last bullet form. Always natural justice must be observed. Right. Look, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to discuss with you the remedies and laws related to review disciplinary procedure, right? Now my electricity, uh, restored. Sorry, I need 5-6 minutes because it takes 5 to 7 minutes to recover the internet. Do you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Right. Just wait for 5-6 minutes. Huh?
Okay, sir.
You have to bear. We have to wait for 5-6 minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now let me share my screen with you. The topic is remedies and laws related to review disciplinary decisions. දැන් අර disciplinary decision එකක් දුන්නට පස්සේ ඒක review කරන්න තියෙන laws මොනවද? එහෙම නැත්නම් වෙන remedies මොනවද? කියන එක ගැනයි මම කතා කරන්නේ. හරි කාවක් එනවා. Do you hear me?
Yes,
මාව
sir.
ඇහෙනවද? Right. Subtopic remedies and laws related to review disciplinary decisions. Is it visible? The presentation, is the presentation
Yes, sir,
visible?
this is visible.
Okay. Remedies and laws related to review disciplinary decisions. So look at this one. Industrial Dispute Act number 43 of 1950. What preamble says? It is an act to provide for the prevention, investigation, and settlement of industrial dispute, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. This is the dispute resolution system in the Industrial Dispute Act, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Act A should be capital. So, first, commissioner, conciliation, voluntary arbitration, collective agreement, and minister has power to compulsory arbitration and industrial court and the labor tribunal. This is the entire dispute settlement mechanism. Okay, we have learned this. Then we will look at the powers of the Commissioner of Labor in settlement of industrial dispute. Powers of the Commissioner of Labor in settlement of industry or in settling industrial dispute by conciliation. Settlement of the dispute by employer and workman under the agreed arrangement, or endeavor settlement by Commissioner of Labor and his officers. Settlement dispute by authorized officer. Settlement by voluntary arbitration. This is the entire process of the Commissioner General of Labor. I'm having some, problem. Okay. Just look at, go very quickly. Interpretation of terms connected to industrial dispute. Interpretation of basic terms. Industrial dispute කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Workman කියන්නේ කවුද? Employer කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Industry කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා මේකේ තියෙනවා. ඒවා කතා කරන්න උවමනා නැහැ. Industrial dispute is a dispute. We have learned this. Right. Any dispute or difference between an employer and workman, between employers and workmen, between workmen and workmen connected with the employment, non-employment, terms of employment or terms of employment, yes. Conditions of labor, termination of service, or reinstatement of service of any person. And for the purpose of this definition, workman includes a trade union consisting of workmen. We have learned this. Just go very quickly. And the procedure for conciliation. What is the procedure? Memorandum of settlement of the dispute to be signed by both the parties. This is commonly known as, right, 12-1 settlement. Settlement එකකට ගියොත් 12ක වගන්තිය අනුව settlement එකකට යන්න පුළුවන්. දෙගොල්ලන්ගේම කැමැත්තෙන්. In the event of the commissioner or the authorized officer cannot settle dispute, ඊළඟට මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ? Right. report එකක් හදලා arbitrator දාන්න ඕනේ. arbitrator දාන්න ඕනේ. මේක මේ අමතර කාරණයක් හැටියටයි කතා කරන්නේ. repudiation අවශ්‍යද අපිට. ඊට පස්සේ අපි ආපහු බලනවා powers of the minister in settlement of disputes. minister මොනවද තියෙන්නේ බලය? compulsory arbitration පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් industrial court එකට දාන්න පුළුවන්. arbitration එකෙත් අපි කතා කරා voluntary arbitration and compulsory arbitration පිළිබඳව. Sorry, you know, I have some problem. Okay. Voluntary by the commissioner, compulsory by the minister. And reference to arbitration, we don't need to discuss all these things. Repudiation, no. Industrial court also we have discussed previously. This one is not required. Okay. That is something else. That is not required to discuss. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I will discuss with you something else. I have discussed with you what? The procedure for disciplinary. What do we mean by discipline? And the misconduct, විසමාචාර ක්‍රියා කියන්නේ මොනවද? ඊට පස්සේ disciplinary inquiry එකක procedure එක මොකක්ද කියලා. Is there any question in relation to disciplinary procedure? I'm asking you, there are around 13 students. Do you have any questions with regard to disciplinary procedure?
No, sir.
Then I will go for, sorry, another important one, which is not there in your syllabus, but this is important. Just wait for a while. Okay. Now, my topic is International Labor Standards, ILS, and impact of ILS. This is also not in your syllabus, but very, very important to understand how our labor laws have been affected by the international standards. We are a member of the International Labour Organization. The as the member state, the country has been influenced by අපේ රටට බලපෑම ඇති කරලා තියෙනවා. The country has been influenced by the International Labour Organization. They have international labor standards, ILS, and look at, how those international labor standards have been affected to fine-tune and shape up the labor law in Sri Lanka. Okay? So, noted down the topic, international labor standards, ILS, and impact of ILS. Yeah, I don't know what is happening to me. Okay, have you done? Is it finished?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sri Lanka is a member of the International Labour Organization since 1948. So far, we have ratified, there are 190 ILO conventions, of which we have ratified 43 conventions. The ILO standards, an ILO supervisory body, is influencing the government of Sri Lanka or the Sri Lanka to fine-tune the labor laws in our country to be consistent with the provisions of the ILO labor standards that we have ratified. Okay, right. The objectives of this session or my session is getting to know what is ILO and ILS, International Labour Standards. ILO means International Labour Organization. To give you some familiarization yourself with the method of application of International Labour Standards. And the next objective of my presentation is to give you ILO monitoring understanding about ILO monitoring mechanism. The next one is application of fundamental or core conventions in Sri Lanka. There are 8 core conventions out of 190 conventions adopted by the ILO. These 8 core conventions are considered as subset of human rights. And my last point, the objective is get a feedback through questions and answers. You don't need to write these things. This is the UN system, ladies and gentlemen. These are some of the pictures of the ILO Labor Conference. I also, maybe they are somewhere because, I have attended more than 10 times in these sessions. So this is the UN system. The ILO is unique. This is unique because all other UN bodies are bilateral. Government එකත් එක්ක ගනුදෙනු කරන්නේ. ILO is unique. It is not bilateral. It is tripartite. Not government to government. Government, employers, and the workers. They work with all these three bodies. That is the difference between other organization of UN system and the ILO. ILO was formed in 1919, just after the First World War. It is a specialized UN agency, United Nations agency. Headquarters is located in Geneva, Switzerland. Now this has to be changed. Head or Director General is he no more there. After 6 years of his tenure, new Director General was elected, right? 1 month back. I don't remember exact name, so I will put it, the blank. I will put it back blank. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want me to give the note? I'm not raising questions from this topic, but this is very, very important. This is very important. Do you want me to give note, or do you want to take your own note? Or what do you expect? Can I just explain? Hello? කවුරු කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයාලට මේක ලියා ගන්න ඕනද මේක මොකද මේක විභාගෙට ආන්නේ නැහැ. මෙයාලට අමතර දැනුමක් සඳහා පමණයි මේක දෙන්නේ. මේක ලියා ගන්න දෙන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න ඕනද? නැත්නම් මං කියාගෙන යන්නද?
explain කරාම ඇති sir.
So then, mission of the ILO. මොකද ILO එකේ මෙහෙවර mission එක. The preamble to the constitution says ILO එකේ constitution එකක් තියෙනවා. ව්‍යවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා. ඒ ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ කියනවා මෙන්න මෙහෙම. preamble එකේ. Universal and lasting peace. Universal කියන්නේ විශ්වීයනේ සහ lasting peace. සාමය ඇති කිරීම can be established only if it is based upon social justice. සමාජ සාධාරණත්වයේ මත පමණයි ගෝලීය කියන්නේ කාර්මික සාමය ගෝලීය වශයෙන් ඇති කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ establish කරන්න බිහි කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ සමාජ සාධාරණත්වයේ මත පදනම් වීමෙන් පමණයි. ඒ වගේම ILO constitution එකේ කියනවා මෙහෙම. Promoting social justice and internationally recognized human and labor rights, pursuing its founding mission. එලුකේ ප්‍රධාන මෙහෙවර වෙන්නේ promoting social justice, සමාජ සාධාරණත්වය ප්‍රවර්ධනය කිරීම සහ ජාත්‍යන්තර වශයෙන් පිළිගනු ලබන human and labor rights, මානව හිමිකම් සහ කම්කරු අයිතිවාසිකම් මොනවා කිරීම pursuing, right? ඒවා ආරක්ෂා කිරීම තමයි ඒකේ founding mission එක වෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම constitution එකේ mandate එකේ කියනවා ILO mandate to promote opportunities for men and women. To promote opportunities for men and women men and women to obtain decent and productive employment. To promote opportunities. සියලු දෙනාටම තියෙන අවස්ථාවන් ප්‍රවර්ධනය කරන්න. කාටද? කාන්තාවන්ට සහ පිරිමින්ට. මොනවා සඳහාද? Decent work, සුනිසි රැකියා අවස්ථා ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා. මොන condition එක යටතේද? In the conditions of freedom, ස්වාධීනත්වය, equity, සාධාරණත්වය, security, ආරක්ෂාව, and human dignity, right? මානව dignity. හැම කෙනාටම dignity එකක් අපි කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට dignity එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ, right? Which is summoned up by the expression decent work as a global goal. Decent work එක යටතේ තමයි මේක තියෙන්නේ. ILO එකේ objectives ගත්තාම උපාය මාර්ගයක අරමුණු හතරක් තියෙනවා. There are 4 strategic objectives of the ILO. Number one. The ILO has 4 strategic objectives. Number one, promote and realize standards and fundamental principles and rights at work. Promote, ප්‍රවර්ධනය කිරීම, and realize, යථාර්ථය පත් කර ගැනීම. Standards and සම්මතයන් සහ fundamental principles, මූලික මූලධර්ම, and rights at work, වැඩපලේ වැඩ සේවකයන්ගේ අයිතිය කියන දේවල් යථාර්ථයක් බවට පත් කර ගැනීම. Number 2, create great opportunities for men and women and men to decent employment and income. මේකෙන් කියන්නේ සරලව තේරුම් ගන්නකෝ. පළවෙනි එකෙන් කියන්නේ freedom of association, සමාගමේ නිදහස. දෙවෙනි එකෙන් කියන්නේ to create employment opportunities, රැකියා අවස්ථාවන් ප්‍රවර්ධනය කරන්න ඕනේ. තුන්වෙනි එක, enhance the coverage and effectiveness of social protection for all. සමාජ ආරක්ෂණයක් හැමතෙම තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ සමාජ ආරක්ෂණය කියන එක coverage එක ප්‍රසාරණය කරන්න සහ effectiveness, ඒ කියන්නේ වඩා සඵලදායි සමාජ ආරක්ෂණ වැඩපිළිවෙලක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. අපේ රටේ සමාජ ආරක්ෂණ වැඩපිළිවෙල ගත්තොත්, if you look at the social protection in Sri Lanka, right, we have universal coverage of health and education for everyone in this country, right? Public sector employees, they have pension, old age benefit. Formal private sector people, they have EPF. But informal sector workers, around 4 million, 3.5 million workers, they don't have anything. So we have to look at all these aspects as well, right? Today, I had a very lengthy discussion with the ILO people, right? Came from Geneva, and on how to strengthen the social protection system in Sri Lanka. Okay, fourth one is strengthen tripartism and social dialogue. Tripartism means පාර්ශ්ව තුනක් ඉන්නවා. රජය, වෘත්තීය සමිති සහ ආම්පුතු. මේ ILO එකේ තියෙන සුවිශේෂත්වය ඒක. මොකක්ද? ILO එක අනිකුත් UN system වගේ නෙමෙයි. ILO එක වැඩ කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ කණ්ඩායම් තුනත් එක්ක. රජය, වෘත්තීය සමිති සහ ආම්පුතුන් කියන කණ්ඩායම් තුනත් එක්ක. අනිත් සෑම UN system එකකම ආයතන වැඩ කරන්නේ රජයයි ඒ ආයතනයි එක විතරයි. So this is the unique of the ILO. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir. Understand.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2030 agenda for the sustainable development. there are 17 sustainable development goals. The ILO work mainly falls under sustainable development goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. It has relations with number of other initiatives or goals, but this is the main goal: decent work and economic growth. So let me explain what do we mean by tripartism, right? Since its creation, the essential role of the ILO has been the pursuit of cooperation between government, employers, and workers in furtherance of social justice with a view to universal and lasting peace. Luka Sagulia Sam Atikirima Sandaha, right? When a Vyayamedi, ILO Pradana Paramathe Une, එක ආරම්භයේ ඉඳලම සේවකයෝ හාම්පුතුන් සහ රජයේ සමග සහයෝගයෙන් කටයුතු කිරීම. This is the, tripartism is the active interaction. What do we mean by tripartism? Active interaction among the government, workers, and employers as representative, equal and independent social partners to seek mutually agreeable solutions for issues of common concern. This is tripartism, ladies and gentlemen. The tripartism system enables the representative of workers and employers to participate on an equal footing with those of government in all decisions and processes of decision making. This is very important because, even when we are discussing, during my tenure as the Commissioner General of Labor, and before that, the Senior Assistant Secretary looking after the foreign relations ILO matters in the Ministry of Labor as the Senior Assistant Secretary, right? I just, the focused these areas, the tripartism, how we have to work. The ILO system also have structured based on this tripartism. ILO's unique tripartite structure: workers, governments, and employers. This is, the ratio is 2-1-1. 2 means if any discussion taken place, 2 government officials minimum, and 1 worker and the 1 employer. 2-1-1 ratio. This is the ratio that we use in selecting people, right, for the discussions. Okay. What is the scope of the ILO? The scope of the ILO is social justice. The ILO tries to provide better conditions of work. In order to achieve better conditions of work, they provide they set the standards and they provide technical assistance. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? Is there any question? මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද? මේක තේරෙනවද කියන එක? Hello.
Understand, sir. Up to now, understand.
Okay. මේවා කරන්නේ මොකකටවත් නෙමෙයි. මේක විභාගෙට අහන්න නෙමෙයි. හැබැයි මේ ILO කියන එක අපේ ලේබර් ලෝ එකට දැඩි බලපෑමක් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න. හරි? සහ මොකද්ද මේ ILO කියන්නේ කියන එක තේරුම් ගන්න. හරි. Okay. This is the major structure of the ILO. It has International Labour Conference every year in Geneva. I have attended 7 times International Labour Conference, but 21 times in Geneva, ILO, and it has governing body and the International Labour Office. International Labour Conference, governing body is the major one, and the International Labour Office, headed by the Director General of the ILO. This is the structure of the ILO, ladies and gentlemen. The governing body is very crucial. They are the one who take decisions and inform the International Director General of the International Labour Office to implement those decisions. Decision is taken by the governing body. Okay. So governing body, this is the structure. International Labour Conference, 187 members of the government, G government, E employers, W workers, adopted standards. Egollo standards adopt karana. Governing body again, 56 members, 14 employers, 14 workers, and 28 government. That is what I said. The ILO structure is tripartite. The ratio is 2-1-1. When, 2 from government, 1 from worker, and 1 from employer. So the governing body structure, 28 government, the half of workers, and the another half is employers. That is 2-1-1 ratio. Okay, do you understand?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. And then we have International Labour Peace headed by the International Labour Conference take decisions. Right. The governing body put agenda, prepare agenda, and put the items on the agenda of the International Labour Conference. Once it is adopted, it is the duty of the International Labour Office to implement those ideas or those programs. Okay. So, means of action. What are the means of action of the ILO? Two types of actions: standard setting and technical cooperation. Standard setting means adoption of international labor standards. ජාත්‍යන්තර කම්කරු ප්‍රතින් සහ සම්මුතියින් සම්මත කිරීම එක අරමුණක්. Promotion of ratification. Ratify කරන්න කියලා country 187ක් ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ promote කරන එක. Supervision and monitoring of application of standards. Ratify කරාට පස්සේ ඒවා හරියට ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවද කියලා බලන්න supervise කරනවා. ඊළඟ aspect එක තමයි technical cooperation. Provide technical expertise in the promotion and application of the international labor standards. රටවල් වලට තාක්ෂණික සහයෝගය නැති වුණාම ඒ තාක්ෂණික සහයෝගය දෙනවා. Promotion of economic and social and economic development. Right. ආර්ථික සමාජ ආර්ථික සංවර්ධනය සඳහා උදව් කිරීම. Empower tripartite constituents. ඒ කියන්නේ ත්‍රිපාර්ශවීය සහභාගීත්වය promote කරනවා, empower කරනවා, ශක්තිමත් කරනවා. Generate, collect, disseminate information. තොරතුරු එකතු කරනවා, generate කරනවා, ඒවා disseminate කරනවා. Decent work agenda. Sri Lanka also is having decent work agenda. So they ILO support to implement the decent work agenda, right? And the decent work country program as well. So far, any question? Any question? දැන් මම මේ කතා කරන්නේ අමතර දේශනයක් නේ.
සිංහලෙන් හරි කියන්නකෝ පට්ට සුද්ධ සිංහලෙන් මට කුණුවarpෙන් බැලලා හරි කමන්නේ නැහැ. තේරෙනවද නැද්ද මේවා කියපුවා?
So understood.
Okay. Okay. Then international labor standard system. ජාත්‍යන්තර කම්කරු සංවිධානයේ labor standard system කියන එක මොකක්ද කියලා අපි බලමු. What are international labor? මොනවද ජාත්‍යන්තර සම්මුතියින් කියන්නේ? කම්කරු සංවිධානයේ සම්මුති. මෙන්න මේ තුන. Convention සම්මුති. Recommendations නිර්දේශ. Protocol. Protocol එකට වෙන වචනයක් මම දන්නෙත් නැහැ. Protocolම තමයි. මේ protocol කියන්නේ conventions කියන්නේ මේ නීතියක් වගේ. අපේ රටේ දැන් නීති තියෙන ඒ වගේ එකක්. Recommendations කියනවා අපේ තියෙන මොනවාද? රෙගුලාසි වගේ. දීර්ඝ විස්තර. ප්‍රොටෝකෝල් කියන එක අපේ රටේ නැහැ. ප්‍රොටෝකෝල් කියන්නේ මේ කන්වෙන්ෂන් එක අඩුපාඩුවක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒ අඩුපාඩුව සකස් කරන්න හදන එකකට තමයි අපි ප්‍රොටෝකෝල් කියලා කියන්නේ. Additional device in relation to convention. Additional device to explain the inadequacy of the convention. ඒ convention එකේ තියෙන inadequacy එක explain කරන්න ගේන additional device එකක් තමයි protocol කියන්නේ. හරි. මේ conventions ratify කරන්න අපරාධ කරන්න ඕනේ ඒවා. protocol උත් එහෙමයි. recommendations අපරාධ කරන ඒවා නෙමෙයි. Right. Standard are the most important means that the ILO has to attain its objective and ensure that the values enshrined in its constituents are put into practice. මේක මම උපය ගන්න තැනක් තියෙනවා එන්න මෙතනින්. right. ඒවා එකින් එක කතා කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ILO constitution එක තියෙනවා මේක tripartite consultation එකක්. මේකෙන් කියන්නේ මේ ratification process එක ගැන. ඒවා in detail යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මොනවද international labor standards කියන්නේ? Sources of protection for workers. මේ international labor standard කියන ඒවා මූලාශ්‍ර මොනවා කරන්නද? සේවකගේ අයිතීන් ආරක්ෂා කරන්න. And it is a framework and benchmark for achieving decent work, social and economic development that respect fundamental principles and rights at work. Right. මේවා වැදගත් වෙනවා සුනිසි රැක්ට කියන එකත් ඒ වගේම සමාජ ආර්ථික සංවර්ධනය සහ මූලික අයිතිවාසිකම් ආරක්ෂා කරන්නත් කියන එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ ජාත්‍යන්තර කම්කරු සංවිධානයේ සම්මතයන් වැදගත් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම these international labor standards are tools for solving problems. මේවා ප්‍රශ්න විසඳීම සඳහා යොදාගත හැකි උපකරණ. ILO has adopted 190 conventions and 2006 recommendations. 206 recommendations. These conventions adopted by the International Labour Conference and open to ratification by member states. However, the recommendation also adopted by the International Labour Conference but not open to ratification for member states. Okay? Is it understood? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
What do you think? Do you think is this topic important or useless?
It's important, sir.
It is very, very important, right? It's very important. Because, right, you are the last group that I'm delivering my lecture because, I'm not supposed to, make any, kind of, the lecturing because because of my work, right? Today, whole day, I had discussion with the International Labour Organization today in the morning from 9 to 12:30, right? to investigate the decent work country program. And then after that, from 3 to 4:30 on, starting from 3 to 4:30, I had a discussion with very senior officials from Geneva, ILO officials from Geneva, on how to establish a very comprehensive social protection system in Sri Lanka. So I'm discussing with you, I'm sharing my experience with you, right? Not just, these are not textbooks, my own experience, because I'm engaging with these international organizations. But unfortunately, I won't be able to, share my experience with other people. This group, and there is, the coming another group. So I will be finishing off my discussions with them. There is another group, but not new groups, because I have no time to discuss, no time to, share my experiences, right? These are, ladies and gentlemen, real experience, not the textbook ideas, because I am being engaged with the international people. But let's see if I have chance, if I retire, or not retire, right? If I move from, this place to another place, let's see whether there is a possibility for me to share my ideas with you. But try to understand what I'm trying to tell you. And if you have any question, please raise, right? These conventions, right? The 190th convention is the, what do you call this? Violence and harassment in the world of work. Violence and harassment convention in the world of work. Sri Lanka is going to ratify this convention very soon. Okay. So I'm moving to next one. The conventions and the recommendation, the comparison. Ladies and gentlemen, if we ratify the convention, we are legally binded. The country is legally binded to implement the provisions of those conventions in law and in practice. Okay, tell me, who is the responsible organization to ratify the ILO conventions? And which is the responsible organization to ratify the UN conventions on behalf of Sri Lanka? There are two questions I'm posing you. One is, which is the organization that has responsibility to ratify ILO conventions on behalf of Sri Lanka? And which is the organization that has the obligation to ratify UN conventions with regard to, on behalf of the government of Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka? ILO convention, how the responsible ratify karan? Foreign Ministry, what do you think? Attorney General, Supreme Court, or Parliament? Who is the responsible responsible authority?
Is this Parliament side is ratifying should be done by the Parliament?
I'm asking, not Parliament, right? I'm asking, who is the responsible agency to execute it? The execution, right? Who's the responsible agency to execute the ratification of ILO conventions? the competent authority to take decision is the cabinet of ministers. But the execution agency with regard to UN convention is the foreign ministry. With regard to all ILO convention is the Ministry of Labor. Do you understand? Cabinet is the, cabinet has the sole authority. We have to go for the cabinet. But the execution authority, right, with regard to who should be then, who should execute this one? With regard to UN conventions, it is the responsibility of the foreign ministry to go to the cabinet and, ask the permission to ratify. With regard to ILO convention, it is exclusively the Ministry of Labor. Right? They have to go to the cabinet and ask whether we should go for ratification or not. Do you understand? Is it clear or not?
Clear, sir.
දැන් මෙහෙම හිතන්නකෝ. දැන් ඔන්න ILO එකේ තියෙනවා CPRS කියලා කන්වෙන්ෂන් එක. 2006 CPRS කන්වෙන්ෂන්. ලේබර් ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් එකට ඕක ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරන්න කොහෙත්ම බෑ. ඒක ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරන්න ඕනේ මර්චන්ට් shipping department. මර්චන්ට් shipping එක. හැබැයි මර්චන්ට් shipping එක ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරා කියලා රැටිෆයි කිරීමේ ප්‍රොසෙස් එක ෆලෝ කරන්න ඕනේ කවුද? Ratification process ILO will not allow any other organization to deal with ILO conventions. It is exclusively, the responsibility is vested with the Ministry of Labor, because Ministry of Labor in each and every country, whatever the name, right, is title, but the labor related, the agency or the ministry has the response, is the focal point to the ILO. Okay? Are you getting my point? Right? In other countries, like not, there's those countries, they don't name, for example, in Japan, it's a human resource development ministry, but dealing with labor. So that is the responsible authority, right, for the ILO. Here we name it as labor and foreign employment. So that is the ministry responsible for the ILO. Okay? Title may be changed, but we have to look at the subject. Okay? Hello? Do you understand? Is this clear to you? This when ratified, legally binding, we have obligation to send reports and clarifications and everything. If not ratified, represent objectives and influence national law and practices. Recommendations, we are not, we don't have any legal obligation. It's general or technical guidelines. It can influence national laws and practices. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the conventions, it has some aspect. What is that? Universality. Standards are set at world level and are valid for countries with very different social structures. Those are minimum standards, ladies and gentlemen. And the flexibility, it has flexibility aspect as well. Okay, right. Apart from conventions, recommendations, and protocol, we have another instrument as well. So I have taken this, I was there in Turin Center. You see this, the Turin 4th, 7th, 27th, 2007. I have attended, there is a Turing campus. Turing is not Geneva, Italy, right? ILO campus, very big campus. I have attended, I have studied 11 times in Turing Center, Turing campus, right? Under many, many different courses. So I have taken from that one. It is still valid. Other instrument, constitution, declaration, and resolution. Okay. Declaration. We have a couple of declarations. One is Declaration of Philadelphia, 1944. US, United States of America. We had, the ILO declaration. May declaration ke thamai kiyanne, labor is not a commodity. ශ්‍රමය කියන එක භාණ්ඩයක් නෙමෙයි කියලා හඳුන්වා දෙන්නේ මේ declaration එකේ. In next declaration of principles and rights at work and its follow-up in 1998. මේ convention මේ declaration එක කියන්නේ ILO එකේ තියෙනවා main මොනවද convention 8ක්. ඒ convention 8 සම්බන්ධයෙන් තමයි කියනවා මේ. So we are naming it as co-conventions. Convention 29 post labor, Convention 87 freedom of association, Convention 98 right to organize and collectively bargain, Convention 100 employment convention, and Convention 105 is abolition of post labor, Convention 111 non-discrimination in employment, and Convention 138 minimum age to enter to employment, Convention 182 worst forms of child labor. These are the 8 core conventions out of 190 conventions. These 8 core conventions are considered as fundamental rights, fundamental or subset of human rights. So, as far as the Asian continent is concerned, Asian continent, South Asian continent, only Sri Lanka and the Maldives have ratified all these 8 core conventions. Okay, though the ratification of all these 8 core conventions have been emphasized by the Declaration of Principles and Rights at Work and its follow-up, right, in 1998. And the Declaration of Fair Globalization for Social Justice in 2008. Because you know that you might have heard about it, 2008 and 2009. There was an economic collapse, the world economic recession, world economic, the crisis. So in order to cope up with the negative consequences of economic crisis, this declaration was adopted at the ILC, International Labour Standard. Okay. Declaration of LEN, Principles and Rights at Work and its follow-up. Ladies and gentlemen, right, as we are supposed to, right, as we are supposed to continue this session until 10:30 and another half an hour to give you, right, allow you to raise questions. As we have, there are 2 aspects that I have to consider. One is already I have completed my lessons, already completed. The next two sessions, I will be discussing the, maybe 1 session, right? Not 2 sessions. I will be discussing with you, this question papers. And these are additional information that I'm trying to give you. So therefore, even though still we have, the 1 hour to settle, I'm not, the considering the time, right? I will stop at this juncture, right? These things are not important. I wanted to give you, the very brief information with regard to International Labour Conference, ILO, International Labour Organization, right? I'm not asking you I'm not raising you any question with regard to this topic, but all labor laws are important. Therefore, next 2 sessions, I will be devoting my time to discuss with you 2 question papers, which will be focused, which will be based, right, to prepare the final question paper. Do you hear me, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Anything else? Is there anything you need to raise? මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. මොකද
Excuse
මම
me,
මේ
sir.
ඔව්.
Can you send this PDF for the LMS account, sir?
This is Dilini. This is not part of the syllabus. So therefore, I will not be sending this one to the LMS, because if you need it, I can personally send it to you, but not to share with someone else, because this is my personal, what do you call, this is my property. I mean, this is my property, right? If as this is not part of the syllabus, if it is the part of the syllabus, yes, I have to send it, but this is not the part of the syllabus. Dilini, do you understand?
Yes, sir, understood, but it is very important PDF, I think.
Yes, it is very important, but I'm not allowed to share it, in a wholesale manner. Right? Do you know my, my email address, right? It is there,
Yes, sir.
right? So ask me, it is personally, right? So I cannot share, because this is my if this has been included in the syllabus, yes, it is my obligation to share this, but this is not in the syllabus. This is the extra work, extra presentation that I'm delivering to you. So therefore, I'm not supposed to share this. I will not share this, because this is my property. But if anybody needs this, please send me an email. Definitely, I will share with you. But you are not supposed to share this one with anybody else. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Because this is not part of the syllabus. This is entirely the external work. So if you need this, yes, why not? I will share with everybody. But if I, upload it to the LMS, it is visible for everyone, even for other lecturers who will deliver the lectures in Sinhala medium as well. Am I correct or not? Am I correct or not? Tell me. if I upload this one to LMS, it can be right viewed by anybody who is access to the LMS. Am I correct or not? මේක බං wholesale එකේ දැම්මහම LMS එකට access තියෙන ඕන කෙනෙකුට මේක බලන්න පුළුවන්ද බැයිද? පුළුවන්ද බැයිද හංසි? hello පුළුවන්ද බැයිද? මට ඇහෙන්නේ නෑ ඔයගොල්ලෝ කවුරුවත්. තුසාන්ත
පුළුවන් සර්.
right ඒ හින්දා මොකද මං කරන්න ඕනේ? මේක මගේ property එකක් නේ. මේක මේ ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ syllabus එකේ තියෙන එකක් නෙමෙයිනේ. මං අමුතුවෙන් උගන්වන very important point කොටසක්. ඉතින් ඕගොල්ලෝ මට මගේ email address එක තියෙනවා. මට very nicely email එකක් එවන්න. I am so and so අවල් class එකේ. So I will send you the email, right? Through email this one. So I'm not sending this one to upload into the LMS. Okay?
Okay sir. Excuse me sir.
Yes.
ඔයාගේ email address එකට මට කියන්න පුළුවන් sir මම write කරගන්න.
පොඩ්ඩක් මම මේකේ මුලටම දාලා නැද්ද?
නෑ මට මම මගදී තමයි ආවේ. මට class එක full
පොඩ්ඩක් මේකේ දැන් මේක මම මේ කරපු තැනට එනකන් තියෙනව නේද LMS එකේ නැද්ද? ඒ කියන්නේ මේක රෙකෝඩින් එකේ මේක නැද්ද මේ මම කරපු තැනට එනකන්?
ඒක තියෙනවා sir.
මම මේ email address දාන්නම් right පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. දැන් පේනවද හැමෝටම email address එක?
ඔව් sir.
මේකට email එකක් එවන්න මං එවන්නම් එතකොට. හරි?
ඔව් sir.
සර් ඒකේ මේ
ඔව්.
excuse me sir.
ඔව්.
සර් විමල වීර කියන එකේ MA එකක් එනවා සර්. ඒකක්
මම වරද්දලාද මන් දන්නේ නැහැ. පොඩින්. Just let me check. විමල පල්ලෙන් විමල WIMALEWERA1965
සර් මේ කියලා එන්න ඕන විම්ල වීර කියලා තියෙනවා.
sorry sorry විම ඒකක් අඩුයි sorry විමල වීර sorry දැන් මේක මෙහෙමයි ඔයාලා මේක එව්වහම මගේ ඊමේල් එකෙන් මම එවන එකක් නෑ මගේ සෙක්‍රටරි කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා මගේ PA කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා එයා එවයි මේකට බට් ඔයාලට ඕන නම් මේක එවන්න මම මේක LMS එකට දාන්න නැත්තේ මේක රික්වයර්මන්ට් එකක් නෙමෙයි මේක සිලබස් එකේ තියෙන රික්වයර්මන්ට් එකක් නෙමෙයි මම ඇඩිෂනල් උගන්වන දේවල් ටික හරි but these are very important මම මේ විෂයත් එක්ක ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවද අවුරුදු 10කට වැඩි කාලයක් මම මේ විෂයත් එක්ක ඩීල් කරලා තියෙනවා මම මේකත් එක්ක so I have dealt with more than 10 years with this subject I know how to report and everything I have attended what you call the International Labour Standard International Labour Conference 10 years and ILO conferences in Geneva 21 times. The most experienced person in attending the ILC and the ILO work. Okay. We discuss about declarations. We discuss about declaration of Philadelphia, We discuss about Declaration of Principles and Rights at Work and its follow-up. And we discuss about Declaration of Fair Globalization for Social Justice 2008. And we have another declaration as well, regional declaration. In 2018, we have declaration with regard to child labor. In 2018, yes, right. It was held in Argentina, Buenos Aires, right. On behalf of the minister, at that time, minister was the labor minister was Honorable John Seviratna from Ratnapura district. So he and myself, we attended the Buenos Aires, Argentina, the conference. On behalf of him, I declared the position of Sri Lanka at the the conference, right, to become a zero tolerance of child labor by Sri Lanka in 2025. I don't know whether we will be able to achieve it, but what I'm trying to explain with you is, you are free to raise any question because I know this subject. I can't tell you everything at once, but if you raise any questions, I can explain. Okay? Do you understand? Hello? Okay. Now, moving to Declaration of Principles and Rights at Work and its follow-up. The first one, right? This one, not the Philadelphia. Right? I'm skipping this one because those are not that much. Okay. The fundamental principles and rights at work. These are very, very important. These fundamental principles and rights at works are highlighted, right, and emphasizes by the Declaration of Principles and Rights at Work and its follow-up. What are those? There are 4 areas. One is freedom of association and right to organize. Second, free from discrimination. Third, freedom from child labor. Fourth, free from forced labor. With regard to freedom of association and right to organize, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 conventions. One is Convention 87, right to freedom of association. Another convention is Convention 98, right to organize and collectively bargain. There are 2 conventions with regard to freedom of association and right to organize. And then free from child labor. There are 2 conventions. Convention 29, Post Labor Convention, and Convention 105, Abolition of Post Labor Convention. And then with regard to freedom from discrimination, there are 2 conventions, ILO Convention, main conventions. One is 100 Convention, number 100, Employment Convention. And then second one is Convention 111, 111, with regard to no discrimination in employment convention. And then free from child labor, we have 2 conventions, fundamental conventions. One is 138, a minimum age to enter to employment convention. And another convention is 182 convention, worst forms of child labor convention. And free from post labor convention, close labor, there are 2 conventions. One is 29 convention, ILO Convention 29, post labor convention, and ILO Convention 105, abolition of post labor convention. These are the 8 core conventions with regard to fundamental principles and rights at work. Sri Lanka and the Maldives from the South Asian region have ratified all these 8 core conventions. Is it clear to you, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir, clear.
So these are the 8 core conventions. Core labor standards or core conventions. Freedom of association, 87 and 98. Freedom from discrimination, 100 and 111. Free from forced labor, 29 and 105. Free from child labor, 138 and 182. These are core conventions. Right? Sri Lanka and the Maldives from the South Asian region have ratified all these core conventions. These core conventions, out of 190 conventions, these are the 8 core conventions or fundamental conventions. And these fundamental conventions are considered as subset of human rights. Subset of human rights. මූලික මිනිස් අයිතිකාම් වල උපකොටස් හැටියට සලකනු ලබනවා. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So now there are only 8 students, right, remaining with me. So I'm going to stop at this moment, at this juncture. So we have to start from 31 slide, right? As we have very few students here, I don't know why these people, because we have covered everything. So they are not joining. But I'm discussing with you, not in the syllabus. These are not in the syllabus, but which are very important. Very important. What do you think? Any comments? Dilini?
Yes, sir, I agree.
Dinesh?
So excuse me, sir, can you please briefly explain how to that ratification is done with the
Okay.
international law?
Ratification process. Right. At the International Labour Organization, at the International Labour Conference, it is a very, very, very comprehensive process. You will learn it later, right? Next day. But let me tell you in a nutshell. Right. The governing body call proposals from member states, right, with regard to the burning issues and the importance of adopting international labor standards. These proposals are called from member states. Say, for example, this year, they call for proposals. And those proposals will be discussed at the governing body. And based on the gravity, they select certain topics to prepare the international standards. And then governing body put these proposals, right, into the agenda of the International Labour Conference. So if it has to be taken up at 2025, this year, 2023, that proposal should be, the declared and mentioned in the 2025 agenda of the International Labour Conference. So then at the International Labour Office has to undertake a study on that, and they prepare the report and send it to the member states, asking their observations. And then they compiled those obligations, and text will be text will be, what do you call this, forwarded to the international conference in 2025, right? If it is agreed on 2023, it will be in 2025 ILC International Labour Conference. And then the member states will discuss. They also raise their voices. Finally, then incorporating the views of the member state, then the International Labour Office will prepare another report and send it to the member state for their feedback. And then they comment. Finally, based on the comment of the member state, they prepare the final structure and paste on the International Labour Conference in 2024. Right. And then, because it's a double discussion, 2-year discussion. So then they discuss this international instrument, and if it is agreed, the text will be adopted by 2/3 majority of the International Labour, Mahamandala, we call it, General Assembly, right? I have voted 4-5 times, right? We have to vote it. Once it is adopted by 2/3 majority, it is open for the ratification for the member state, right? Okay, say for example, the final convention adopted at the International Labour Conference was 190 conventions, violence and harassment at the workplaces or world of work. It was discussed in 2018 and 2019 as well, but 2019 final assembly, it was adopted. I also voted because I was attending as the government delegate at that time. So now the ratification is like this. If we want to ratify this 190 convention, we have to undertake a study whether we have provisions in law and in practice to implement this convention in the country. If not, we have to prepare the necessary legislations. And then we have to go to the cabinet asking the permission to ratify this convention. We have to justify, when we are going for the cabinet, we have to justify why do we need to ratify this convention? What are the benefits that Sri Lanka has if we ratify this convention? Okay, so we submit the proposal, or the cabinet memorandum to the cabinet. If cabinet approves, then before cabinet approve, we go for the Honorable Attorney General, right? Saying that we ask Honorable Attorney General, yes, right? This is Sri Lanka has decided to ratify this convention. Please tell us whether it is inconsistent with the Constitution of the Constitution of the Socialist Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. If Honorable Attorney General says that there is no inconsistency, we go to the cabinet and Honorable Attorney General has said this, and we need to ratify this convention because of these benefits. If cabinet approves, it is the duty of the Labour Ministry to ask the Foreign Ministry, Foreign Secretary. It is the duty of the Secretary to the Ministry of Labour and Foreign Employment to ask the Secretary of the Foreign Ministry to prepare the, we have to inform that cabinet has approved, Honorable Attorney General has given his consent. So therefore, right, we ratify this convention and please prepare the instrument of ratification and deposit those ratification with the ILO Attorney General, ILO Director General through the permanent representative to the UN, Sri Lankan representative to the UN in Geneva. This is the procedure. Tushara, you are the person who raised the question. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Very clear, sir.
So because I did this procedure for 7 years. So I know A to Z. A to Z. So ladies and gentlemen, right, let me stop this juncture. I'm not going to continue. You please let me know. We have to start from slide number 31. Okay. Do you agree with me or you want me to continue further?
Agree with you, sir.
Okay. What about others? Dilini?
Same, sir.
Okay. So then good night for everyone.
Good night, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good night.